Today, the New Jersey Supreme Court ruled the State Commission of Investigation can proceed with hearings on mob infiltration of prepaid dental plans. And so the SCI began detailed questioning to show a web of relationships among health plan executives, union officials, and reputed organized crime figures. Mary Amoroso has the story.
Today, the SCI took a look at Local 33, a bartenders, waiters, and hotel employees union in South Jersey. The questioning by the SCI reflected the premise of this investigation, that unsavory characters, often mob figures, are acting as middlemen between unions and dental groups, arranging prepaid dental service and, in return, getting kickbacks and payoffs. Michael Stafford, a Local 33 trustee, testified that the consulting group that arranged the union dental plan not only got its $60,000 fee in 1979, but also a $10,000 bonus that was not in the original contract. Albert Didone, a bartender and the vice president of Local 33, was up next. He was asked about some of his friends.
Have you heard that Mr. Mortarano was involved in organized crime?
Only what I read in the paper, they say, is with organized crime.
Did you ever ask Mr. Mortarano about what you've read in the paper?
No.
Did you ever ask Mr. Natale about what you read in the paper about him?
No.
Finally, one of Didone's friends, Ray Long John Martirano, took the stand.
You know Angelo Bruno, did you not?
Yes, sir.
And again, if you will, how would you characterize your relationship or acquaintance with Mr. Bruno?
He was a very dear friend of mine, sir.
Testimony continues tomorrow, and the Capitol Police are expected to beef up security in the Assembly chamber where the hearing is being held, amid speculation that a former union official now in a federal prison may be in to testify. In Trenton, I'm Mary Amoroso.
Vernon Valley officials accuse the SCI of headline hunting, a criticism heard often in connection with the Commission's investigations. Does the drama produce results? Rita Shea takes a look at the SCI probes and its recommendations.
From its beginning, the SCI has embraced a bit of drama during its public hearings. Hooded witnesses paraded to microphones to give John Doe testimony.
I'm scared to death. Fear for my life.
Subpoenas snared celebrity Frank Sinatra and Philadelphia's notorious crime boss Angelo Bruno.
Mr. Bruno, do you think you're being treated fairly by the SCI?
This touch of theatrics had its pitfall. Periodic criticism that the SCI was a headline hunting agency. It has never been given permanent status, and once again it's undergoing legislative review. A special commission will make its recommendation in a few weeks. For that reason, current members of the commission would not talk on camera about the effectiveness of the SCI. Joseph Rodriguez, now the public advocate, headed the SCI during its most controversial era, the late 1970s. The Attorney General once threatened to call him before a grand jury for refusing to reveal a source, and certain members of the legislature accused him of compiling dossiers.
We always took the position that we don't look for heads. We don't headhunt. But if a head got in the way, public interest required that the commission do its job.
Rodriguez said turf fights are to be expected, and that drama was and still is a good device to attract media attention and reach the public.
Let's take Atlantic City, for instance. Here was a new industry, the casino industry, moving into New Jersey. There were early concerns about its potential of penetration by organized crime. Angelo Bruno testified for the specific purpose of showing that the cigarette industry, the vending machine business, was already penetrated by Angelo Bruno and John Martirano. Now, at that point, they might have said, you're headline hunting, but I think history has proven that we were correct. Where is Angelo Bruno today? And as we picked the other businesses, we were saying to the people of the state, we need corrective, strong legislation.
Legislative changes are hard to get. Often it takes the commission years to get its recommendations into law, and then the law is generally a compromise effort. Senator Lee Laskin knows this. That's why he wants the state attorney general to step in and correct problems with the Camden County Municipal Utilities Authority. The SCI documented what it called flagrant abuses in Camden last year during its hearing.
They held extensive hearings dealing with the with flaws in the laws dealing with absentee ballots. They produced witnesses who testified about abuses that occurred, frauds that occurred, which were not preventable under the existing law. And it took years before legislation was enacted to correct those gaps. And I think that we've got to start paying more attention to some of the recommendations that the SCI makes, and not only pay attention to the drama that it produces for us.
In the late 1970s, the SCI was rebuffed for its investigation of faulty medical examiner reports on suspicious deaths in Camden County.
Now, some 6 years later, there happens to be an indictment. Now, not getting into the merits of the indictment, but I think it certainly points out that what we were trying to say was accurate.
With the departure of Rodriguez in 1979, criticism declined, and in general, law enforcement officials say the commission should be made permanent. They say it is effective in telling the public about organized crime and official corruption. In Trenton, I'm Rita Shade.